Secrets of Eternity was released in January 2015. This set introduced the Infernoids, a series of monsters that can special summon themselves to the field by banishing other Infernoids from either the hand or graveyard. Notable cards in this set include Farfa, Malebranch of the Burning Abyss, Clifford Monolith, Unizombie, Nef Shaddoll Fusion, and a card that would bolster Satellar Knight to combat the Burning Abyss Shaddoll meta, Stellar Knight Constellar Diamond. Additionally, the Hero Strike structure deck was released just a few weeks later, introducing Masked Hero Darklaw to the game as well. In this series, both MBT and myself will be traversing the sands of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Each episode will take a deep dive into Yu-Gi-Oh's past formats and unlock new strategies as new sets become available. Strap yourselves in because anything is possible. Welcome to the history of Yu-Gi-Oh!
6 weeks of honeymoon, 30 hours of travel time, and we're finally home.
I just realized we don't have any food.
Silly wife. Do you think I would let myself wait till the last minute to do something like Mr. MBT? I don't think so.
Getting back into the fall season can be busy, but weeknights can be made so much easier with foolproof step-by-step recipes ready in around 30 minutes or less. HelloFresh delivers fresh quality produce from the farm to your door in less than a week, allowing you to enjoy the delicious flavors of the season right from home. HelloFresh recipes include pre-portioned ingredients that mean less prep for you and less wasted food. Hello Custom allows you to customize your box by swapping out one protein or side for another, upgrading for a more luxe experience, or adding protein to a veggie meal. That means more choices, more variety, and more meals truly tailored to you. HelloFresh also offers a variety of veggie, pescatarian, and fit and wholesome meals to make it easy to stick to your goals. I don't personally eat gluten or dairy, and I was surprised by the plethora of options that HelloFresh had available. Use my link or go to HelloFresh.com and use code POGCIMOOOOOO 65 for 65% off plus free shipping on your first box. Once you click, my description will live update to count up the purchases.
What gives? We've had to play the worst positioned of the two decks in the matchup every week for the past 3. What did I ever do to deserve this, aside from completely beef the Shaddoll versus Klee match? Well, that's all changing now, because while I may have a 0% win rate on Klee, we are playing it against a bad deck. And Klee has gotten much stronger. So with a new set comes a new slew of tools for everyone's favorite Pendulum pals. No, not the Performa pals, though I see why that might be confusing. The Cliforts! The Cliforts got a ton of new cards in the new set, most notably Clifford Monolith. And while I may not be able to get you excited about a Monarch statted vanilla, let me read you this Pendulum effect. You cannot special summon monsters except Klee ones. This effect cannot be negated. Once per turn during the end phase, if you tribute summon to this turn, you can draw a number of cards equal to the number of Klee monsters you tributed for tribute summon. This was stellar. Suddenly, Clifford cared very much about Pendulum summoning a significant amount of guys and performing a very powerful tribute summon, then ending their turn with a casual draw too. Card D, who needs it? In fact, they also got an additional monster that would prove to be extremely powerful to tribute, Clifford Stealth. There were so many monsters in this format that floated, BA and Shaddoll chief among them as far as floating offenders, but Clifford Stealth deals with everything efficiently. If this card is normal summoned or set, it is able to target a card on the field and return it to the hand. What's more, your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to that activation. So long, El Shaddoll Fusion. These cards were impeccably strong, and with the exceptionally powerful Clifford Scout, you could easily turbo out enough monsters through both actual normal summons and sacrifice to get these monsters into rotation. All you needed to do was survive a single turn, and then you were almost always Pendulum summoning for 4 or 5 before performing an extremely powerful tribute, followed by a couple of draws. Make note of the fact that because Clifford Monolith doesn't have an effect, you can search it with Summoner Art, giving you a second powerful target, not just Scout. This deck was super strong, and it was beefed by the fact that Skill Drain was still legal at 3, as was Vanity's Emptiness. Good luck sending my cards to the graveyard, they all go to the face-up extra deck. So with that, let's get into the card by card. We've got 2 Carrier, 3 Disc, 3 Helix, and 1 Stealth. We're on 2 Monolith and 3 Scout. Unfortunately, Monolith is a great card to search, and not a particularly good card to draw. We've got a copy of Book of Moon, 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 Duality, Triple Sacrifice, Snatch Steal, still legal, 3 Summoner's Art, 2 Monarch Stormforth, 3 Upstart Goblin, a Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 Mirror Force, 3 Skill Drain, and 3 Vanities. In the side, we've got 2 Majesty, a 3rd Mystical Space Typhoon, double Night Beam, double Spell Shattering Arrow, very popular in formats that included Pendulums, 1 Stormforth, 3 Debunk, 1 Climate Change, and 2 of the selection. Are these playoffs, viewers? In the extra, we've got a bunch of monsters we physically cannot summon because as long as we have any Klee in the Pendulum Zone, we are unable to special summon monsters except Klee monsters. Let me throw you over to Cimo so he can tell you what he's going to be losing with.
So it's really come to this, huh? Joseph can't still manage to win a single match, and so we're having to throw him every bone imaginable, allowing him to play full power Klee post Secrets of Eternity against a deck that basically doesn't care about anything that Klee does, and actually is probably much favored in this matchup. This one's going to be rough. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Infernoid. This is the first time Infernoid has debuted in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it was released in Secrets of Eternity. This is a very interesting graveyard-based archetype that had a lot of anti-meta matchups against specifically Burning Abyss and Shaddoll, at least on paper, right? So, I'm going to go ahead and quickly go over all the Infernoids because there's a lot to cover here. So, each of the Infernoids cannot be normal summoned or set and must be special summoned by banishing a number of Infernoid monsters from either the hand or graveyard, while the total levels and ranks of all effect monsters you control are 8 or lower. So for instance, if you have a level 4 and a level 5 monster on the field, you're not able to summon any Infernoids just because you are exceeding that level cap if you were to summon any others. So Antra as well as Harmadic and Petrulia require you to banish 1 Infernoid. Then you have Saitsamas and Atundel that require you to banish 2. And finally, Ononku requires you to banish 3. And then you have each of the Infernoid's respective effects. Each of them comes with their own unique effect aside from the one that was just aforementioned. So Antra, once per turn, you can target a face-up card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Atundel, if it kills a monster by battle, you can attack a second time. So it's sort of like BLS, but it's only 2,800. Harmadic can just pop a monster on the field. Petrulia can pop a spell or trap. We have Saitsamas, which is actually crazy. Saitsamas is a card that allows you to, when it attacks, the effect, and at the end of the battle phase, you can activate the effect, banish a card on the field. Non-targeting. So this is like one of the best ones. And Ononku is a walking heavy storm if it is actually just special summon, period. Then finally, each of the Infernoids has a third ability that allows them to act as a DD Crow by tributing another monster on the field in order to banish a card out of the opposing graveyard. Now, Antra, Harmadic, and Petrulia can only do this during your turn. Atundel and Saitsamas can do this at quick effect speed, which is quite strong. And Ononku doesn't have that ability, but his third ability is that once per turn during either player's turn when a spell or trap card effect is activated, you can tribute 1 monster, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. A very powerful effect, and the fact that it banishes 2 is very relevant for this particular format. So ideally, you're going to be wanting to get as many of these into the graveyard as possible because to get the chain really going, you need to load up the grave in order to start summoning these guys. So how are we going to do that? Well, that's where the rest of the deck comes in. So we're playing 1 Blaster, and the reason for this is because all of these guys are fire. And what's nice is that these guys are also able to just have really high attack stats for no reason. Like Atundel is 28 and Saitsamas is 26, as well as Ononku being 3,000. So throw a Blaster in there as well, and you're off to the races. Then we have the cards that actually mill the guys into the graveyard. So we have 2 Card Trooper for this, which is just a fine card all around. We have 2 Raiden, which is one of the best ones, and it's also a tuner, which opens up the Synchro pool. And then we have 1 Lilo, which is nice for being able to pop back row, and that way clears the way for us to go in for a ton of damage. Then for the spells, we have Burial from a Different Dimension, which is very powerful by allowing us to recycle some of our cards. We're also even playing Miracle Dig, which is just a bad version of Burial from a Different Dimension, and let me let you in on a little secret. They never play this again after like the first wave of support. We have Charge of the Light Brigade, which mills, but also gets us to one of our good Light Sworns. Hidden Armory is particularly funny because this deck doesn't really need to normal summon, so you can just search Snatch Steal just to help you kill your opponent a lot faster. And then the cards that make the deck hum, Monster Gate and Reasoning. Now, Monster Gate, I believe, was limited at this point, but I think Reasoning was still at 3, and it must have been because otherwise we wouldn't be playing it here. So Reasoning and Monster Gate are some of the most high-rolly cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! What's nice is that because none of the Infernoids can be special summoned except via their own effect, Reasoning skips over those cards cards in the milling process. So if you hit like 10 Infernoids off of Reasoning or Monster Gate, then you're going to fuel up your graveyard to be able to bring these guys back. I also forgot to mention, and I think this is actually very important, so I should mention it, that Atundel, Saitsamas, and Ononku can actually be summoned from the graveyard, where the smaller ones, Antra, Harmadic, and Patrulia, can only be special summoned from the hand. So when you're milling, you really want to see the Atundels, the Saitsamases, as well as the Ononkus, because these are the ones that can constantly keep coming back and are just going to be a recurring pain in the ass for your opponent to deal with. Of course, we have Snatch Shield to go with the Hidden Armories, and 2 copies of Void Seer. This is a neat little card because you can target an Infernoid you control, and it's unaffected by opponent's card effects this turn. And if an Infernoid monster you control will be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from the graveyard instead of destroying one of those monsters. So it's a neat way to protect your big guys like Ononku, Atundel, or Saitsamas, but also just get some value for off of your mills as well, because even if you mill it, this card's going to at least do something. And then rounding out the deck, we do have a few traps. We have double breakthrough skill, which is good because we're going to be doing a lot of milling. So if we mill this, we actually have a way to negate the effects of things on the field, like stuff like Dweller can be a problem, for instance. And then Needlebug Nest is also not terrible either, because this just mills 5 for free, and that's very good because it helps us just get our engine going, so that way we can start bringing some dudes onto the field. We do have an extra deck, but honestly, we're probably not going to be using it all that much just because it's not super relevant. So we have Black Rose, Dark Strike Fighter, Gaia Knight, Scrap Archfiend, Scrap Dragon, Star Eater, Yazi, and then for the Xyz, we have Kestel, Divine Dragon Knight, Felgrand, Downer Magician, Exciton, Gaga Cowboy, Gemini Pearl, Draco Sack, as well as Anganir. The side deck has some interesting cards. So we have Dark Ruler Hades, we have Gorz, the Emissary of Darkness, Jinzo, and the End of Anubis. These are actually fine hits off of like Reasoning, to be fair. And if you're going up against a deck that you know plays a ton of traps, like you could just have this be here just for that reason. Then we have double MST, double Twister, and Raigeki for the spells. And then the traps, Fiend Comedian. God, I wish this artwork was real in the TCG, but I think this will probably be one of the alternate arts that they eventually release for the OTS stores. Then we have double Mischief of the Gnomes and double Mischief of the Yokai, pretty much for exactly Burning Abyss, because if we mill these, we can actually still use them from the graveyard. Fiend Comedian is just another way for us to mill a ton of cards, and against decks like Shaddoll and Burning Abyss that are easily dumping half their deck into the graveyard every single turn, this allows us to be able to meet them at parity to a degree. And in all honesty, this is sort of the precursor to that Grasslook Screener, which will not be released all the way up until Raging Tempest, I believe, which is still several years away, out in, I believe, 2017. So this is the first introduction to Infernoid. It looks really rough, and I gotta be honest with you, I am expecting to lose this one. If we somehow win a single game with this, I will be impressed, but this deck has topped a regional, so I guess that means something, but we're going up against Klee. I mean, maybe if we were going up against BA or Shaddoll, this would look a little bit more likely to happen, but I'm not holding my breath. So, ladies and gentlemen, wish me luck. Let's not make you wait any longer. It's time to duel. Okay, Joseph, I know you've been on a bit of a losing streak over there, so I decided to give you an easy one, okay? This is a deck you've played 2 times already, and I'm giving you a deck that was not very good. This probably is not a favorable matchup for me. So, the ball's in your court, buddy. The ball's in your court.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. However, I got 2 questions for you. One,
sure.
How many times have I won with this deck?
0.
And then 2, Infernoid is a high roll strategy, right?
That is correct.
Right, okay. Just checking here, just checking. I'm ready when you are, buddy.
You should take solace in the fact that grass is not legal yet.
Oh, boy,
so,
oh, joy.
Yeah, we won't be drawing that. We will shout the patron, though, however. It is Brandon Malone. Thank you for the support, buddy. Got the hand up?
Yes.
I'm going even.
It's odd.
Woo! Okay, that's probably the best look you are going to get. Look, and you even won that. All right, buddy, this is it. And now watch, he's not going to draw away to scout.
I think that is quite likely, actually. Well, I did not draw away to scout, so Upstart Goblin. This will just have to.
All right, maybe you could draw your way to scout.
I'm going to pass my turn.
Oh no, Joseph, what's happening?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to run out Raiden.
Yep.
I will declare Raiden.
Yep.
Let's mill a couple. All right. Those are not Light Sworns, if you would have guessed. So I will not be gaining an attack boost here. Instead, I will just try to hit for 17.
Yeah, of course. You've got it.
Okay. Second main, I'm going to set 2 face down and throw to you.
Okay.
And in the end phase, I will mill 2 for Raiden. Excuse me. Oh, great. The breakthrough skills are all gone. Fantastic.
Miracle Dig, you're fucking with me, dog.
They were on Miracle Dig, yes.
Okay.
This was early Infernoid. They were on everything.
Okay, I will go monolith, and then I will go disc. Wait, that's two.
You realize those are not scales that
not.
match.
I did not realize that. Okay, I am gonna go to hell. I will go to prison. I'm gonna normal summon carrier here.
That is 100 attack points more than my Raiden, unfortunately. Yes, I will take 100.
Cool turn. Very cool turn. Back to you.
End phase, I will activate Needlebug
Needlebug
Nest.
Nest! Yes!
And I will activate a second Needlebug Nest.
Oh, good. I'm glad the high roll strategy is paying off here.
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. What are you possibly worried about me milling here?
So you have actually milled one good monster.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of disappointed. I milled like 10 cards and like only 3 of them are actually useful. All right,
Yeah.
main one, fine.
Yeah, yeah.
How do we want to do this?
Okay, here, let me simplify things for you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good card you got there, buddy. Shit. Okay. So am I dead? Probably.
Against Klee, I don't think so, buddy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you got some turns.
I think so. I will pass in that case.
All right, stand by main. Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Normal summon disc.
Okay.
1818.
I will take 3,600.
Back to you.
Okay. This is actually kind of a sick play. Snatch Steal.
Yes.
I don't care what I take because I'm just gonna crash them.
Sure.
Oh, this does not out
does
vanity
not
Zephyrus.
out
I forgot
vanity.
that this is how this works.
You can-
Okay,
you
well,
can
I will
do
just
something
set
else
one.
if you
It's fine because I'm not dying here anytime soon.
No,
so
you
there's
are
that.
not. Oh, thank the fucking Lord.
Did you find the scout?
No, but I found the sacrifice.
Oh shit, that's actually much better. Yep, 21.
Go. Stand by main. Upstart.
Okay, all right. I might not be dying this turn.
Okay, that kills vanities. Okay,
Now, can you kill me?
yes. Tribute disc for stealth.
Yeah. You want to see my lovely hand? Petrulia, Harmadic, Antra. Woo!
I love Noid. I love Noid!
It's a great deck. This is a fantastic strategy I'm
Okay,
playing.
whoa. Hey. Before you talk shit on Infernoid, have you considered the fact that, like, the top decks cost, like, $500 at this time, right?
Okay.
And Infernoid cost $2,000.
Yep.
For some reason, this deck was 4 times the price of the good decks.
All right, let's try Raiden
Yeah,
again.
go. Good.
All right.
Oh,
we got
hit
an
one.
Infernoid, and that like might be my whole turn. That's probably gonna be it if I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I'll just go to end phase. Let's try to mill some more.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, we
wow.
got some noids.
All right, sadly, you are dead. We're going to go Clifford Scout here. We're going to declare. I'll pay.
Okay.
We are going to grab a monolith.
Okay.
We're going to scale the monolith.
Okay.
We're going to activate Summoner's Art. Unfortunately, Stealth is not a normal monster, which is a little fucking annoying.
Bizarre, right?
Yeah, I guess we could get Scout here. I think I actually want the extra copies of Monolith because Scout can get Monolith. We're gonna go Pendulum Summon 1, 2, 3, and then we are going to tribute Monolith and Helix, or Carrier rather, for Disc. We're gonna trigger Carrier to bounce your guy, and we're gonna trigger Disc to summon a bunch of guys from deck. So we are gonna get Helix. What? Can we get another disc? What the heck? 2 Klee monsters from your... Oh my god, we won't get stealth. Fuck it. Okay, so this is 18, 18, 18, 28. All right, that was fun. That was good. But if it makes you feel better, at the end phase, I was going to draw 2 off Monolith.
Excellent. My hand consisted of plenty of Infernoids, and I also had a Monster Gate.
Okay.
Maybe I should have fired that so that I could have made it easier for you to kill me, because it seemed like that was a liability, actually, that you had to take those extra steps to make my death a lot quicker. So, Jesus Christ.
You want to run the game 3?
Yes, I would like to run the
We
game.
gotta hit
3.
ad revenue.
That's about what I expected. You happy? You finally won in Duelist Alliance.
Thank
It only
you.
took this long.
Thank you for donating this match to me. I came out strong with a couple of Satellar Night victories in a row. The second I had to start thinking I was losing. Thank you for allowing me to stop thinking again. This was...
To be fair, like this match is showing that this deck is terrible. Like, actually just awful. Like, how could anyone play this? But, like, it's not, like, that bad. Like, okay, here's Charge. Like, this is a decent card, right?
Yeah.
Let's see where it gets us. I'm probably just going to get OTK'd again. Is that my only... If that's my only ride. Okay, good. Thank God.
That would be
All right,
so fun.
so we have a ride. Go for a ride.
Yeah.
Let's mill a couple more.
Okay. Oh, that's two
okay.
really good ones.
We're getting somewhere, and we'll mill a few more.
Blaster.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. We got some cards.
Stormforth.
Of course. Why not? Sure.
Helix. It's not that good. We're just going to go Helix, Sacrifice, get in.
Not pretty good. Sacrifice Helix. Yeah, I'll take 27. That's a lot.
Second main, we're going to set 1, 2, 3.
It's not that bad. I can't wait for Vanity's Emptiness to ruin my day.
Let's
So
go, baby.
Needlebug Nest first.
Ooh,
Is Galaxy Cyclone out yet? That'd be nice. I'll draw. Show it to me.
Okay, if you insist.
Fuck off. All right. Boy, that Lila
I
sure
was going to
would've been
say,
nice, wouldn't it?
really appreciating the Lila Mill.
Maybe I should have just searched that and just not played anything else. Okay. Well, I do have Snatch Steal.
We are chilling. We're chilling.
I will normal Card Trooper.
That's fine, yeah.
Might as well keep milling.
Yep.
Because when I can use Noids, it's over.
I am actually going to skill drain here.
Okay.
So I take
I will. You only take 4 from the Trooper,
and then 27.
Yeah, still the 27. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, this stinks. Oh, this really stinks.
You gain your 1,000 from Snatch.
That's good. I appreciate that at least. Well, goodbye to Vanity's Emptiness.
Okay, happy to see that.
Ooh, hello to Scout.
But hello to Scout. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Let's go Scout here. Scout effect. We'll grab...
Hey, pay your 8, buddy.
I'll pay my 8. I'll pay my 8 when I'm good and ready. I guess we could grab Stealth here. That seems alright. We'll grab Stealth. Normal Stealth.
Sure.
Battle.
Okay.
Boom.
So I take 14 here, and I get to draw with Trooper.
Yep. Back to you.
Reasoning. The level 1 is not out
I was
yet.
going to say, Decatron isn't out. Raiden Lilo was the Lightsworn package then. So I do not know what other normals you could be playing. We're unboarded because it's game 3, so you can't be on, like, Enko. I guess the Card Trooper? I'm going to say 3 for Card Trooper. Yeah.
Please.
Oh, no.
Please. Come on, Dueling Book. Please.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Wait a minute. Hold up. Buddy?
Oh my fucking God.
Okay.
Okay, well now the graveyard's loaded, so I feel a little bit better about that.
Yeah.
You still have a back row. I have every fucking monster under the sun that I can summon now. I do have to be just mindful of what Infernoid affects. When you have skill drain up, that actually means jack shit. Okay, let's get rid of Antra Harmadic. We're gonna go for a Tundle. And per the restrictions on the Infernoids, I cannot go beyond this, even with skill drain up, I believe. And if not, I will look like an idiot. So battle a Tundle in.
So would Crash here?
He's 28. Oh, wait, you're skill drain too. I forgot.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, so we'll Crash. Doesn't matter. I just need to clear him. And then 27.
Yep.
Oh, that also means I should have taken an extra 1,000 off of the when you attacked over Trooper.
Sure.
Second main, I guess I'll just re-summon a Tundle. Probably the move, right? Yeah, let's get rid of these idiots. Let's bring them back out. Over to you. Gain your 1,000.
Trust me, dog. I am. Oh God. Okay. What the fuck do we do here? Well, I've located my win condition. It's that little 2 right by your deck.
Yeah.
Let's go Scout. You know, why not? I'm gonna grab Disc.
Sure. Just another big fucker.
We're gonna Pendulum Summon 1.
Okay.
Battle. I think I like you having the Aton Dell because it means you can't get anything else. Like, I know what's going on.
You can't kill the Helix either because it's sacrifice.
I might as well attack the Helix, I suppose.
Just to get 100 damage, sure.
This is 400 because of the disc.
Oh, correct, because it's reducing the, or you're gaining the attack.
Right.
That's right.
All right, second main.
Yep.
I'll set a card. Back to you.
Well, this is a problem, isn't it?
You must defeat my one asshole.
It's fucking 3,100. And I'm under skill drain. You know, for the sake of comedy, I'm kind of just curious what the last card in my deck is. So I guess I'll play this out. I'll put these 2 to defense, and I will just pass.
Yeah. Standby main?
Yep.
Oh, shit. I don't think we even have to do this. I'm going to MST the Snatch Steal.
Well, that'll do it.
And then we'll switch him to attack position, baby.
Yep. You can have back.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's scout too.
Sure.
We'll grab stealth.
You forgot to gain your 1,000 too for that snatch.
Oh, oof, you're right. That is correct.
That's another scout activation, so
Hey,
it's very important.
What the heck? This deck only plays 1 stealth. So that makes sense. But let's grab a disc.
Okay.
Gain my 1,000. Let's tribute the Helix with the sacrifice attached. Disc. We're gonna go Helix 1, sac 2.
It is breakthrough skill, which does nothing when you have skill drain.
Killer. Let's get that disc.
You are skill drained, sir. You're not getting anything.
Okay. Let's just get this guy to hand from the sack. Then we'll PS2, and then we will go to combat. Wow.
Yep. I'm questioning why I put a Tundle to defense. I actually could have lived if I didn't. Because I double Void Seer Engrave. Oh, no, it's only my card effects. Not even bad. This deck fucking sucks. Holy shit.
It's not good.
I didn't look at the last card. I'm looking at my deck. I don't think there was anything that was going to get me out of that. Okay, for what it's worth, even if I didn't mill myself down to 2 cards with that reasoning, I still don't think there was anything that could have possibly gotten me out of that situation.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's, aside from Lila, exactly, I don't think there's any way that I can, or not Lila even, because it's skill drain. I don't think, I have 1 MST main deck, and that I got milled probably like turn 2, if I had to guess. Against Klee, like, this is a field day for you.
Infernoid is a weird deck. It's been, like, expected to be playable in, like, 6 separate formats over the course of its lifespan.
Yep.
And I think it has been actually playable once. And that's when, like, Vladis Baranovsky, of course, was able to take it to an unbelievable finish at high-level tournaments. But in general, this is one of the most consistently overhyped decks in the history of time. And it's not hard to see why. You know, all of your cards theoretically are DD Crow. And this is happening in a format where, like, Shadow's a crazy deck. Burning Abyss is a crazy deck. And even if you go up against a matchup like Clifford, in which, you know, your DD Crow is going to be worth less than nothing, you have a Nonku, which is heavy. They're a pendulum deck. You blow out all their back row and their scales, Scout no more, Monolith no more, and you can make these huge pushes. In practice, do you know how much things have to go right for this deck to pop off? You have to open Reasoning or Monster Gate. If you've opened Monster Gate, you need to open a monster you contribute for Monster Gate, which is not guaranteed. You either have to find a low-level Infernoid and the requisite material in hand in order to summon it, or one of the Lightsworn. You're only playing 3 because you really can't afford to not play cards that are not Infernoids, but every Infernoid is also a huge brick in your hand. You end up with this ridiculous deck that is like 60% Garnet to facilitate something like an Anonku, but the Anonku is telegraphed at all positions. So if your opponent has their own DD Crow or a skill drain or a bottomless, you know, they
emptiness.
An emptiness, they can always contest it. It was one of these decks that people always suspected was extremely broken because no one could afford to play it. Like we said, it was like a $2,000 deck in a format where the top decks were expensive. There was no justification, especially if you were like a college kid, for dropping 2 stacks on a deck that couldn't hang with the big boys. So everyone was like, oh, this expensive deck must be good. We just haven't figured it out. I think with the benefit of online play, with the ability to beat Infernoid into the ground, we can say almost certainly at this point that it is just all hype. It is all hype. It is nowhere near remotely strong enough to hang with the top 3 titans of the format in BA, Dolls, and Clifford.
And maybe we made a misstep here. Like, I know we were trying to show off the new Klee stuff because, like, out of all the stuff that comes out in Secrets of Eternity, like, Klee has the most interesting support because I like the other cards for the other archetypes. I think Shadal receives Neff Shadal fusion, and like it doesn't even get Annoyatilis, I think, till next set. I think it gets
Christia?
Wendigo this set. And then BA gets the other monster. So I think it gets like Farfa, Kagna, the Ritual spell, and then the Ritual monster.
And Good and Evil in the Burning Abyss, yeah.
Right. And so, like, none of that ever saw play, really. I mean, yes, Farfa obviously saw play, but the other...
played Good and Evil as soon as it was released because they were like, what if I randomly mill it? But it was not taken nearly as seriously as the other waves of support.
Precisely. And then, so then you have Klee, which has, like, the most interesting support in the form of cards like Stealth and Monolith. And I don't know if your deck was on Soul Transition, but, like, that card as well was pretty sick.
Soul Transition is a killer card, though.
Yeah, it's just, like, a neat application for the deck that if you want to just turn any of your dudes into cards, like, you're able to. And so, Infernoid, I will contest your first point about when it was playable. I will argue that in Zodiac format, Infernoid Zoo was actually sort of like a house, just because of the fact that you had this, like, way to, like, interact on an axis, like, that the traditional, like, Zoo and Kaiju Zoo decks didn't really have a way to. So because of that, like, Infernoid Zoo did have, like, this small stint of popularity to sort of, like, specifically, like, take on mirror matches exactly, just because you could be banishing away your opponents, all their ways just to recur all of their Zoo monsters, which was pretty sick. But that aside, yes, like, there's been very few instances. Funny enough, though, this deck has won a YCS. Not this version, but a later version once we start receiving some of the better support, because I believe next set contains Deviati, which is a Raigeki, instead of Ononku, which is the Heavy Storm. We also do not yet have the level 1, as we aforementioned. We're also missing, the Fusion, the Void Imagination, and Tierra as well. And then we're also missing the card that searches the fusion, the spell Vanishment, I believe. It definitely takes some time for this deck to actually be remotely playable. And I think at the very least, maybe we revisit this, like, once that time comes.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, just like, again, looking at this was not a good matchup in the slightest. But in theory, this deck does benefit from skill drain and the like, just because it just has big idiots you just want to drop onto the field at all times. The problem is, you need it. This is what would happen and why the deck would just never see success, right? Because, okay, against your BA and your Doll, you have a pretty decent, like, anti-meta deck, but then you'd run into Klee or anything just doesn't care about what your deck does, and then you just fall by the waist and are never able to top as a result of that, which is why this was the only deck of Infernoid that topped during this time period.
While, in theory, being able to, like, DD Crow, BA, and Doll does give it, like, a good matchup, in practice, I mean, we've seen over the last couple of episodes that as soon as you fire the Doll Fusion, you're getting the effects of the Dolls, you know? The Falco recursion isn't necessarily critical to your game plan. And as a result, you know, like, oh, cool, you can banish Skarm before they get a search is nice, but if it comes at the cost of, like, a monster you dumped material into against a deck that's like, oh, I guess I don't have the third tour guide, I'll just have to be satisfied with 2 Dantes, it kind of pales in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, it does stop the Seer Dante loop at the very least. It is able to cut them off of, like...
You know?
Yeah, that's true. But there are also, like, there are some neat little things, like Antra can bounce, for instance. So, like, that's relevant when you're playing up against, like, anything extra deck based. Like, so you have an out to, like, stuff like Construct or Dante, and so that way they don't trigger as easily, right? All of, like, the individual Noids themselves have, like, a neat effect. A Tundle's just a house just because it hits for a ton of damage.
Saitama's is crazy.
Like, yeah, Saitama's is, like, one of the craziest cards ever if it resolves. But again, with skill drain up, that's just never going to happen.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, and we will be revisiting Infernoid a couple of times as it becomes a little more playable. The one kind of takeaway for Clifford this episode is that obviously Stealth is incredible, increases the ceiling on its plays to an unbelievable amount. Monolith allows you to refill your hand after you go for a big push. It means that you are pendulum summoning 5 every turn, something that you weren't doing in previous builds of the deck, but it also does something else, and that's just, like, deep draws into floodgates. And board breakers. And it's not until Monolith is released that people start realizing, hey, wait a minute. Between Upstart Goblin and Clifford Monolith and all the spells that cycle, Summoner's Art and the like, we are actually drawing a significant amount of our deck every single game. That culminates into a very strange build of this deck that we'll be taking a look at in future episodes.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Let's go ahead and shout the patrons for all of their continued support. So shout outs to Shadow1317, Mono, Tim00x3, Cameron Smith, MBT Play Medolce, Chaotic Meatball Part 2, Pony Starks, The Synchro Guy, Dan the Man Hoban, I ship MBT and Simo, Draconic Phoenix the Immortal, Jordan Coons, Iron Bladesman, Jesse Wood, Chris Hood, David Liu, Dylan Hunter, Cody Bretz, John Tube, Toothpaste, Extremely Vulgar Man, Brody Eastwood, Zerius Business, MBT caught injecting his fairy lily, Carlos DT, Flannel Daddy, Valen Jackson, Hornet, aren't you glad I didn't say Alpha Tribute Ben 10, TC Gaming, thanks for the sleeve stat, Matthew Brady, Max, Twinkle Muncher, Eater of Crayons, Luabon, Yodabon, Helios 515, Simo's Chaos Cooking Draft, MBT funding the Iris with his Rothschild Wealth, that's his Roth IRA, Simping for Simo, Stolfin Amethyst, Nicholas Carpenter, Simo's Harem of Sexy YugiTubers, LGMBTQ, Nim Noodle, Malbranch of the Burning Tunnel, Stella and Zoa Vermilion, Wonder Waffle, James Keen, Skull Servant, and The Wandering Doomed are boyfriends. MBT canceled by all community soon, canceled by all committee soon, canceled by all players soon. Not reading cards makes the game interesting, and you know it. The MBT and MBT Yu-Gi-Oh! Stands for Morbin Time, The Undertaker versus Simo and MBT, Dalton, Hunter Reed, Shrug, Zyx, The Crystal Beast Enthusiast, ITF, Corvain, Dark Echo, TG Starman, Seamoose Engage, Viso the V, Wacky Waving, Arm Failing Infable, 2 men selling crudely painted, not so funny plywood cutout folk art, and hatformat.com. Thank you so much for watching the video, and we will see you next time.